Have you ever felt your friendships drifting apart after a big life change? Maybe you've moved, started a new career, went through a divorce, or even stepped into retirement, and suddenly those once unbreakable bonds feel different. And if you've been wondering why your friendships don't feel the same anymore, you're not alone. So stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll not only understand why it happens, but also walk away with tools to handle it in a way that feels healthy and empowering. And we're going to be talking about why friendships naturally shift, what to do when conversations feel awkward or distant, and how to open the door to new aligned connections. And at the end, I'll share a simple practice that can help you heal the grief of friendships that fade, so that you don't have to carry that heaviness into your next chapter. So if that sounds good to you, let's get going. So here's the truth nobody warns us about. Big life changes often create a before and after moment in our friendships. So maybe before the kids, you and your friend were inseparable. You had coffee dates, late night phone calls, laughing till your stomach hurt, and then life shifts. Parenthood, a demanding new job, or even moving across the country suddenly redefines your time and energy. Or maybe you're the one going through a transformation, choosing sobriety, getting healthier, starting a business, or focusing on personal growth. And suddenly things that you used to bond over with your friends don't fit anymore. And that can feel like an emotional disconnect. The conversation starts to feel flat. You sense they're not truly happy with you. Maybe there's subtle resentment, or they keep bringing up the old you when you know you've grown. And yes, it hurts, because you love them. You want the friendship to work, but you can feel the gap widening. Now let me know, have you ever felt like you're outgrowing a friendship, even when you didn't want to? Sometimes it's not a big fight that ends a friendship. It's silence. The texts get fewer, calls go unanswered, and invitations stop coming. And slowly you realise you're living in different worlds, because what used to be shared experiences are now separate paths. And this is often the hardest part, because there's no dramatic breakup, just an empty space where connection used to be. And often there are unspoken expectations that make it even harder. Friends may expect you to be who you were 10 years ago, not who you are today. And honestly, that mismatch can feel suffocating. So what do you do when you feel the drift? Do you try to hold on, or do you let it go? Honestly, sometimes it comes down to the talk. That scary, vulnerable moment where you sit down and say, you know what, something feels different. Can we talk about it? And I get it. It's uncomfortable, but it can also be very clarifying, because you'll quickly learn if that friendship is worth fighting for, or if it's kinder to both of you to let it fade. And boundaries also play a big role here. Maybe you're in a season where you can't always be available for a friend anymore. So communicating your needs, like, I love you, but I can't chat every day like we used to, is a way to protect your own energy without abandoning the relationship. And sometimes reconnection is possible. Maybe you find new common ground. Instead of meeting at the bar like you used to, you take a walk, you share a class, or you start a new ritual together that fits who you are now. But here's the truth, not every friendship can or should be saved. And you know what? It's okay. See, the beautiful part of change is that it opens doors to new connections. Think about it. A new job introduces you to colleagues who get the season you're in. A yoga class or a book club connects you with people who share your passions now. And even online communities can become powerful spaces to meet your tribe. And yes, there can be guilt, that fear of replacing old friends, but new friendships don't erase old ones. They simply reflect the person you're becoming. And you know what? Sometimes the people you meet in midlife can become the deepest, most nourishing friendships because they see you for who you are now, not who you were decades ago. And I think one of the biggest mindset shifts is realizing that friendship isn't about quantity, it's about quality. Because a handful of people who truly get you, cheer for you, and love the unpolished, evolving version of you are worth more than 100 casual acquaintances. And of course, you know, some friendships do withstand distance and change. I know friends who barely see each other but pick up the phone every few months and it feels like no time has passed on by. And that's the beauty of growth. Some bonds evolve with you while others respectfully end. You know, both are part of the journey. And let's be real, losing a friendship, whether it's through silence, conflict, or just growing apart, hurts. You know, it can feel like a death, and you might grieve it just as deeply, and that is normal. So don't minimize it. Don't tell yourself you're silly for crying over a friendship. Allow yourself to grieve. Journal it out. Talk to someone safe. Let those emotions move through you instead of bottling them up. And if you feel stuck in your grief, this is where support can be powerful. I help women one-to-one who are navigating loss, whether it's friendships, divorce, life changes that leave you feeling unmoored. You know, sometimes just having someone guide you through it makes all the difference. So be sure to check out my services and programs, and I'll leave the link in the description. But before we wrap it up, I promised I'd share a simple practice, and here it is. Take a quiet moment. Write your friend a letter, not to send, but to release. Write everything you wish you could say, the gratitude, the hurt, the goodbye, and then either keep it as a memory or let it go by burning it, burying it, or tearing it up and throwing it away. You know, this is a symbolic way to honor what the friendship was while releasing the weight of carrying it forward. You know, friendships transform us as we transform, and that's not failure, that's life. And I'd love to know, have you ever had a friendship that shifted after a big life change? How did you navigate it? And if this resonated with you, remember to hit that like button, share it with a friend who might need it, and subscribe, because each week I'm talking about the unpolished parts of midlife that no one else is saying out loud. And you don't have to go through this season alone. So thanks for being here, take good care, and I'll see you in the next video.